Do you feel a constant sense of being overwhelmed but struggle to name exactly what it is? Is it stress from your daily life, or is it a deeper, more persistent feeling of anxiety? This confusion is common, and it can prevent you from finding the right way to cope. Understanding the difference is the first critical step toward regaining control. This video is for anyone who feels caught in a cycle of worry, tension, and overwhelm. We will provide clarity on what you are experiencing. You will learn the fundamental differences between stress and anxiety, explore the science of how they impact your brain and body, and most importantly, you will be equipped with a comprehensive set of practical, science-backed techniques and lifestyle adjustments you can begin using today. Understanding stress and anxiety. The why. Let's establish a clear foundation. What is the precise difference between stress and anxiety? Stress is a direct response to an external cause or trigger. It is a reaction to a specific demand, challenge, or threat, known as a stressor. This could be a looming deadline, financial pressure, or a difficult interpersonal conflict. The World Health Organization describes stress as the state of worry or mental tension that arises from a difficult situation. Crucially, when the stressor is removed, the project is submitted, the financial issue is resolved, the feelings of stress typically diminish. Anxiety, in contrast, is more internal. It is a reaction to stress, but it is characterized by persistent, excessive worry that often continues even after the stressor is gone. The American Psychological Association defines anxiety as an emotion characterized by feelings of tension, worried thoughts, and physical changes like increased blood pressure. While stress is a response to a present threat, anxiety is often a response to a future, potential threat that may or may not materialize. It's the difference between saying, "I am stressed about this traffic jam," and the lingering feeling of, "What if I'm always late? What if something bad happens on the road?" To understand this on a biological level, we must look at the body's alert system. When faced with a stressor, your sympathetic nervous system activates the fight-or-flight response. Your adrenal glands release a cascade of hormones, primarily adrenaline and cortisol. This surge prepares your body for immediate action. Your heart rate increases, your breathing quickens, your muscles tense, and your senses sharpen. This ancient survival mechanism is incredibly effective for escaping physical danger. In cases of chronic stress or anxiety, this system can become dysregulated. The brain may perceive non-physical threats, like work emails or social events, with the same level of alarm. With anxiety, this state of high alert can persist indefinitely, creating a feedback loop where the physical symptoms of anxiety, the racing heart, the tense muscles, are themselves interpreted as a new threat, leading to more anxiety. Statistics from the National Institute of Mental Health indicate that anxiety disorders are the most common mental illness in the U.S., affecting a significant portion of the population at some point in their lives. This is not a personal failing, it is a common human experience. It is a myth that all stress is inherently harmful. Short-term manageable stress, known as eustress, can be beneficial. It can enhance focus and motivation. Another dangerous misconception is that anxiety is simply overthinking and can be overcome with willpower. Anxiety is a complex neurobiological response. When it becomes chronic and severe, it is a legitimate health condition that requires structured management and compassionate care. Recognizing whether you are dealing with a specific stressor or a more generalized state of anxiety is the key that unlocks the correct set of tools for managing your mental state. Actionable solutions and strategies. This section is dedicated to practical, evidence-based techniques to manage both acute stress and persistent anxiety. Technique 1. Advanced breathing protocols. What it is and the science behind it. Controlled breathing is a direct method for regulating your autonomic nervous system. Protocols like box breathing and the 4-7-8 technique impose a deliberate rhythm on your respiration. This action stimulates the vagus nerve, activating your body's rest and digest system, the parasympathetic nervous system. This activation directly counteracts the physiological symptoms of the fight-or-flight response, slowing your heart rate and signaling to your brain that it is safe to relax. How to do it? Box breathing. Sit upright and exhale completely. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 4. Exhale through your mouth for a count of 4. Hold at the end of the exhale for a count of 4. Repeat this cycle for 3 to 5 minutes. How to do it. The 4-7-8 technique. Sit comfortably and place your tongue tip behind your upper front teeth. Exhale completely with a whoosh sound. Close your mouth and inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 7. Exhale through your mouth with a whoosh sound for a count of 8. Repeat the cycle for a total of 4 breaths. Why it works. These protocols break the cycle of shallow, anxious breathing. The extended exhale is particularly effective at interrupting the body's stress alarm. Technique 2, cognitive reframing and identifying distortions. What it is. A foundational technique from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, that involves identifying, challenging, and altering irrational or unhelpful thought patterns that fuel anxiety. The science behind it. This practice leverages the principle of neuroplasticity. By consciously challenging automatic negative thoughts, you begin to forge new, more adaptive neural pathways. Over time, this weakens the brain's default negative response and strengthens a more balanced and realistic perspective. How to do it? Step by step. Identify the automatic thought. The moment you feel a spike in anxiety, ask, "What thought just went through my mind?" Write it down verbatim. Example, "I made a mistake in that email and now my boss thinks I'm incompetent." Identify the cognitive distortion. Analyze the thought for common errors in thinking. Is it catastrophizing, assuming the worst possible outcome? Black and white thinking. Seeing things in all or nothing terms? If it's not a total success, it's a complete failure. Mind reading. Assuming you know what others are thinking? Overgeneralization. Taking one negative event as a never-ending pattern of defeat? Challenge the thought with evidence. Act as a detective. Ask questions. What is the concrete evidence for this thought? What is the evidence against it? Have I survived similar mistakes before? What is a more likely outcome? Create a balanced reframe. Formulate a new thought that is more realistic and compassionate. Not everything is fine, but something like, "I made a small error in an email. It's an opportunity to be more careful. My overall performance is good, and this one instance does not define my competence." Why it works. It separates you from your thoughts. It teaches you to observe your thoughts as mental events rather than as objective truths, thereby reducing their emotional power. Tips for beginners. Keep a thought record journal. Create columns for the situation, automatic thought, emotion, distortion, challenge, and reframe. This structured approach is highly effective. Technique 3. Worry time scheduling. What it is, a behavioral strategy for containing chronic worry. Instead of allowing worry to permeate your day, you schedule a specific, limited time to focus on it. The science behind it. This technique works on the principles of stimulus control and cognitive diffusion. By repeatedly postponing the act of worrying, you break the conditioned link between having a worrisome thought and immediately engaging with it. This demonstrates to your brain that you have control over the process. How to do it, step by step. Designate a 15 to 20-minute worry period that occurs at the same time and in the same place each day. This should not be close to bedtime. Throughout the day when a worry arises, acknowledge it and make a conscious decision to defer it. You can say to yourself, "I will think about this at 5:30 p.m. in my study." Write the worry down on a list. During your scheduled worry period, sit down and actively engage with your list. For each worry, you can either brainstorm practical solutions, if it's a solvable problem, or simply allow yourself to feel the associated anxiety without judgment, if it's an unsolvable worry. When the time is up, stop. Put the list away and transition to a positive or engaging activity. Why it works. It prevents worry from consuming your mental resources 24/7. You will often find that by the time you get to your scheduled period, many of the worries have lost their emotional charge or seem less important. Tips for beginners. Be strict with the time limit. The goal is to teach your brain that worry is a contained activity, not a constant state. Technique 4. Progressive muscle relaxation, PMR. What it is, a deep relaxation technique involving the systematic tensing and releasing of various muscle groups, which helps release physical tension and promotes mental calm. The science behind it. Anxiety creates significant muscle tension. This chronic tension can send signals back to the brain that reinforce a state of threat. PMR interrupts this feedback loop. The physical act of releasing tension induces a state of deep physiological relaxation, reducing heart rate, blood pressure, and cortisol levels. How to do it step by step. Find a quiet, comfortable space to lie down. Begin with your feet. Curl your toes and tense the muscles in your feet for 5 to 7 seconds. Focus intently on the feeling of tension. Release the tension abruptly and completely. For 15 to 20 seconds, focus on the profound feeling of relaxation and warmth flowing into that area. Notice the stark contrast. Systematically continue this tense and release cycle up through your body. Calves, thighs, glutes, abdomen, chest, back, hands, arms, shoulders, neck, and face. For the face, you can clench your jaw, squint your eyes, and furrow your brow, then release into a state of slackness. Conclude by scanning your entire body and enjoying the cumulative state of deep relaxation. Why it works. It directly addresses the physical manifestation of anxiety. By learning to voluntarily release physical tension, you gain a powerful tool for influencing your mental state. Tips for beginners. Use a guided audio recording to walk you through the process. This helps you stay focused and ensures you address all muscle groups. Technique 5. Strategic physical activity. What it is. Utilizing physical movement not just for general health, but as a targeted intervention for stress and anxiety. The science behind it. Exercise is a potent anxiolytic. It increases the production of endorphins, the brain's natural feel-good chemicals. It also boosts levels of serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine, which are neurotransmitters that play a key role in mood regulation. Physically, it helps to process and clear stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline from the system. How to do it, step by step. For acute stress, anxiety, when you feel overwhelmed, engage in 10 to 15 minutes of moderate to high intensity activity. This could be a brisk walk, running up and down stairs, or doing jumping jacks. The goal is to provide an immediate physical outlet for the fight or flight energy. For chronic anxiety management, incorporate at least 30 minutes of rhythmic, aerobic exercise into your routine 3 to 5 times a week. Activities like jogging, swimming, cycling, or dancing are particularly effective because their repetitive motion can be meditative. Incorporate mind-body practices. Activities like yoga and Tai Chi are exceptionally beneficial as they combine physical movement with controlled breathing and mindfulness. Why it works. It provides a constructive outlet for restless energy, improves sleep quality, which is vital for emotional regulation, and enhances self-esteem and a sense of agency over your well-being. Tips for beginners. The all-or-nothing mindset is the enemy. A 10-minute walk is infinitely better than no walk. Find an activity you genuinely enjoy to ensure long-term consistency. Technique 6. The RAIN mindfulness practice. What it is. RAIN is an acronym for a 4-step mindfulness practice that guides you in responding to difficult emotions with compassion rather than resistance. It stands for recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. The science behind it. Fighting or suppressing emotions often intensifies them. RAIN is based on the principle of acceptance. By turning towards the emotion with gentle curiosity, you deactivate the brain's threat response. This process changes your relationship with anxiety. You learn to be with it without being consumed by it. How to do it step by step. R. Recognize. When you feel a wave of anxiety, mentally name it. Recognizing anxiety or worry is present. This simple act creates a space between you and the emotion. A. Allow. Allow the feeling to be there without judgment. Let go of the internal struggle to push it away. You might say to yourself, it's okay for this feeling to be here for now. Iconic investigate. With a kind and curious attitude, investigate the raw physical sensations of the emotion. Where do you feel it in your body? Is it a tightness in the chest? A knot in the stomach? What is its quality? Vibrating, heavy, hot? Stay with the physical sensations rather than the story behind them. N. Nurture. Offer yourself a gesture of active compassion. Place a hand over your heart and direct kind words inward. This is difficult. May I be kind to myself in this moment? This step helps to soothe your nervous system. Why it works, rain dismantles the secondary suffering we create by resisting our primary emotions. It teaches you that you are the container for the emotion, not the emotion itself, which fosters profound resilience. Tips for beginners. The nurture step can feel unnatural at first. Persist with it. Self-compassion is a skill that strengthens with practice. Bonus section, lifestyle, diet, and additional support. Beyond specific techniques, your daily habits play a monumental role in managing stress and anxiety. Dietary adjustments for mental wellness. Prioritize complex carbohydrates. Foods like oatmeal, quinoa, and whole grain bread help regulate serotonin levels, promoting a sense of calm. Incorporate omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, flax seeds, and walnuts. Omega-3s are critical for brain health and have been shown to reduce symptoms of anxiety. Increase magnesium intake. Magnesium plays a key role in the body's stress response. Sources include dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and avocados. Focus on gut health. The gut is often called the second brain. A diet rich in probiotics, yogurt, kefir, kimchi, and prebiotics, garlic, onions, bananas, can positively influence your mood through the gut-brain axis. Limit caffeine and alcohol. Both can trigger or exacerbate anxiety symptoms and disrupt sleep. Beneficial activities and habits. Prioritize sleep hygiene. Create a consistent sleep schedule. Ensure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool, and avoid screens for at least an hour before bed. Sleep deprivation significantly lowers your threshold for stress and anxiety. Hydration. Dehydration can lead to an increase in cortisol levels. Ensure you are drinking enough water throughout the day. Spend time in nature. Research shows that spending as little as 20 minutes in a natural environment can significantly reduce stress hormone levels. Creative expression. Engaging in non-judgmental creative activities like drawing, painting, playing music, or journaling can be a powerful way to process emotions and reduce stress. Helpful medical and supplemental information. Check for deficiencies. Ask your doctor to check for deficiencies in vitamin D, B vitamins, and iron, as these can all impact mood and energy levels. Consider adaptogens. Certain herbs, known as adaptogens, have been studied for their ability to help the body manage stress. Ashwagandha, for example, has been shown in some studies to reduce cortisol levels. L-theanine. An amino acid found in green tea, L-theanine can promote relaxation without causing drowsiness. Important note, always consult with a healthcare professional before starting any new supplement, as they can interact with medications and have side effects. Do's and don'ts for daily management. Do practice self-compassion. Acknowledge that you are doing your best. Replace self-criticism with gentle encouragement. Do maintain a predictable routine. Consistent times for waking, eating, and sleeping provide an external structure that can be very calming. To cultivate social connections. Meaningful connection is a powerful antidote to stress. Schedule time with supportive friends and family. Do set firm boundaries. Learn to say no to protect your time and energy. Overcommitting is a major source of stress. Do practice mindfulness. Regularly bring your attention to the present moment without judgment. This can be as simple as savoring a cup of tea. Don't isolate yourself. The urge to withdraw is strong when anxious, but isolation often makes it worse. Don't numb with unhealthy habits. Avoid relying on excessive screen time, overeating, alcohol, or other substances to cope. These are temporary fixes with long-term costs. Don't strive for a cure. The goal is not to eliminate anxiety, which is a normal human emotion, but to manage it effectively so it no longer controls your life. Don't believe every thought you have. Remember that anxious thoughts are often distorted and not accurate reflections of reality. Don't neglect professional help. If your anxiety is persistent and significantly impacting your quality of life, do not hesitate to seek support. Information on professional treatment and medication. When self-management strategies are not sufficient, professional treatment is a highly effective and recommended path. Therapy, psychotherapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. This is often considered the gold standard for anxiety treatment. It provides structured tools to change thought patterns and behaviors. Acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT. ACT focuses on accepting difficult feelings and committing to actions that align with your personal values, even in the presence of anxiety. Psychodynamic therapy. This approach explores how past experiences and unconscious thoughts may be influencing your current feelings of anxiety. A first therapy session typically involves discussing your history, symptoms, and goals. It is a collaborative process to find the right approach for you. Medication. This information is for educational purposes to facilitate informed discussions with your doctor. Only a medical professional can prescribe and manage medication. SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, commonly prescribed for long-term management of chronic anxiety. SNRIs, serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, another class of antidepressants also effective for anxiety. Beta blockers can be prescribed for situational anxiety, like public speaking, to manage physical symptoms like a racing heart. Precautions and potential dangers of unmanaged symptoms. Ignoring persistent stress and anxiety can have severe long-term consequences. Health impacts. Chronic elevation of cortisol can weaken the immune system, increase the risk of cardiovascular disease, cause digestive issues, and accelerate cellular aging. Impact on daily functioning. Unmanaged anxiety can lead to avoidance of important situations, impairing career progression, academic performance, and social relationships. Evolution of the condition. Chronic stress is a significant risk factor for developing a clinical anxiety disorder or depression. An untreated anxiety disorder can become more severe and entrenched over time, leading to a significantly diminished quality of life. Preventative measures include taking early symptoms seriously, prioritizing foundational health habits like sleep and nutrition, building a robust toolkit of coping strategies, and seeking help before reaching a crisis point. How to make it a sustainable habit. Knowledge is only potential power. Application is where true change occurs. Start with one thing. Do not try to implement all these strategies at once. Choose the one technique that seems most accessible and commit to practicing it for just 5 minutes a day for 1 week. Habit stacking. Anchor your new practice to an existing daily habit. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will do 2 minutes of box breathing. This removes the need to rely on willpower alone. Track your effort, not just results. Use a simple calendar and give yourself a check mark for each day you practice your chosen technique. The goal is to build the habit of showing up for yourself, regardless of how anxious you feel on any given day. Adopt a mindset of compassionate discipline. There will be days you miss. Instead of seeing this as failure, see it as data. Acknowledge it without judgment and simply begin again the next day. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Build a supportive environment. Let a trusted friend or partner know what you are working on. Having someone to share your successes and challenges with can make a significant difference. Conclusion. We have distinguished between stress as a reaction to an external trigger and anxiety as a more persistent, internal state of unease. We have explored the science of how these experiences manifest in the body and mind. Most critically, we have outlined a comprehensive toolkit of actionable strategies, from advanced breathing protocols and cognitive reframing to lifestyle adjustments and information on professional support. You are not powerless in the face of these feelings. By consistently applying these techniques, starting small, and practicing self-compassion, you can fundamentally change your relationship with stress and anxiety. You can build resilience, cultivate a calmer mind, and reclaim your sense of well-being. The journey begins not with a monumental leap, but with the next small, intentional step you take. Disclaimer. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The information we're sharing is designed to support, not replace, the relationship that exists between you and your healthcare provider.